on today's ride. Up in the hills south of Oaxaca, up in the pine trees, which indicates that we're at altitude. They normally start at around 2200 meters. Oaxaca's about 1550. So yeah, and I've been up. We're actually at 2600 here. I've just got to the top of this climb. Climb that I didn't even know existed, thanks to the awful Strava segment explore feature, which can't seem to find its arse from its elbow, or whatever the saying is. I didn't think there was a climb down here, or not a road rideable one. Wow, look at this. But then I saw someone come down here the other day, and then I asked around, and that's where I've come from down there. I asked around, and it found out that there was indeed a climb up here. It's been, most of it's paved like this style, which I think is fairly new, so it's possible it was dirt before, and maybe why it's not showing up as a segment, but it's certainly been like this for a while by the looks of it. But absolutely beautiful ride. I would say possibly one of the best around Oaxaca, and I nearly missed it. So you might, if you saw my last video, I'm not sure anyone does actually watch them, but I did say this was my last week in Oaxaca. This was about a week and a half ago. But I seem to be still here. I'm kind of stuck in Oaxaca for various reasons. I mean, the main one being I just love it here. It's just absolutely grown on me more and more. Partly because I found a really good place to stay. Before I was staying in the hostel and dorms and stuff, which was starting to do my head in. And then I found this sort of hostel hotel, huge building. I put a little video up earlier on Facebook from the roof. And I got a private room for pretty much the same price as a normal hostel bed. It's a bit more, it's not very sociable there, but it's fantastic. It's one of the biggest buildings in the centre. So you've got great views around. And I've just been discovering more and more about Oaxaca. You know, backpacking, these tourists, mostly youngsters, they come to Oaxaca for like 2 days, and then they say, oh, I did Oaxaca. I hate that word. I did. You can't do somewhere. You can live somewhere and enjoy somewhere and explore somewhere and benefit from somewhere. You can't do it. I find that quite sort of weird language. And the longer you stay, I would, rather than seeing 53 places in Mexico, I've seen very few places in Mexico. But I've been in Oaxaca for a few months, and I know it certainly a lot more than the kids who've been here for 48 hours, 72 hours. But I've just been finding more and more roads, more climbs, and more food. I've had some really good food lately. Yeah, I'd say certainly on this side of this part of the world, Latin America, Mexico and Oaxaca have to be one of the best places. Some pretty good seafood places. Just excellent food all around, so I'm kind of happy here. I feel like I should have to go north before I leave, because I've got to leave Mexico in a few weeks, but it's increasingly hard to leave. And also a friend of mine's coming down next week, a guy I've met in Thailand and Vietnam and ridden with. He's coming down for a week, so I thought I might as well stick around, show him around, have someone to ride with for a week, punish him on these big climbs up to 2700 meters. Yeah, so just in love with Oaxaca, really. It's now one of my favourite spots in the world, I'd say. Certainly up there with Chiang Mai, Thailand, and Da Nang, and north of Vietnam, and Colombia, which I love as well. Yeah, that's the next big question. Where do I go next? I was going to go to Ecuador, and then I checked the weather forecast, the climate, and March and April are like the worst months in Ecuador, the wettest in the mountains and coldest. So I was like, nah, I'm not doing that. Then I thought I'd go to Guatemala, and that's definitely an option. But I'm a bit put off by the fact that, you know, you've got to have a test to go there, and that costs money, and I don't like these nasal tests. I've had one and I found it extremely unpleasant, and I think it's all now getting a bit ridiculous, and I think it's the end of all that. So I just saw Ecuador's actually just dropped it, so I'm hoping Guatemala might If it doesn't, lovely little corner here. I just had to stop because I'm braking with one hand the whole way and it's a little bit sore. Yeah, Ecuador, when now decided not to go there, has now dropped the testing. So I'm hoping Guatemala follows suit. If it doesn't, I may go to Colombia instead, which I love, and I have been many times before, but I'm always happy to go back. Anyway, so there's a little catch up from... Oh, where am I? I'm in the Mixtepecs. So there's San Pablo Mixtepec. I'm guessing it's where the Mixtepec indigenous people are from. It's one of the many indigenous groups here. Zapotecas, Mixtecas. I think I might have said this before, there's apparently over 50 different indigenous languages in Oaxaca state alone. There's a huge number. Zapotecas are the biggest ones. So I'm guessing with the name Mixtepeca here, of all the towns, and this is Mixteca territory. Anyway, it's very beautiful and no traffic whatsoever. Fantastic. Okay, so hasta luego, hasta la próxima, till next time. I'm gonna brake with two hands now.